Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. I'm glad to have you on this wonderful Tuesday evening, and in just a few moments, you'll get to hear my thoughts and feelings on episode 2 of Our Kind of People. Now, after seeing last week's episode, my main criticisms were that the show reminded me too much of Empire, and that the acting performances were spotty in certain scenes. Will this episode change my mind? By the end of this recap and review, I hope to share that answer with you, as well as how I would rate the episode on a scale of 1 to 10. So let's dive right in. The episode opens up with Angie doing a live stream related to her hair. We then see scenes of Angie and Leah getting their hair done in different styles. During this time, Angie is given a monologue about finding power in hair, and the show is clearly setting up an epic showdown between the two characters. The next scene is 48 hours earlier in the story. We are transported to a church service with most of the cast members in attendance. It was interesting to see John Gray in a cameo role as the preacher of the church. There were two things that I could say about this particular service. One, the congregation was very small, and two, the service was pretty hyped for there to be so many uppity folks in attendance. After the service, everyone is standing outside and Angie and Tyreek meet for a brief chat. They talk about Tyreek helping Angie with some renovations around the shop, and she agrees to hire him. Angie then walks over to meet Leah, and they have a chat to clear the air, but Leah isn't having any of it. The two exchange unkind words before they go their separate ways. Leah then meets up with Raymond, and she informs him that she pushed her father out of their organization. Raymond seems pretty understanding about Leah's power move, which raises a red flag because it shows that he lacks some sense of morality. The two of them also share a love scene that ends abruptly before it can get any good. We go to a scene with Angie and her family back at home after church. Angie opens a package, and it's the DNA results that she submitted from the tests from last episode. The results show that Leah is Angie's sister. Angie's reaction to the news shows her family that fulfilling her late mother's wishes is the last thing she has on mind, but Angie assures her that all will be well if she can prove that Leah is her sister. We then go to a scene with Angie and the members of the Women's Society in a boardroom for a meeting. Before the meeting starts, Lauren comes in and she's apparently hungover and wearing inappropriate attire. This catches the eye of Leah, who goes over to talk to Lauren. Lauren then leaves to throw up, but she leaves her phone behind, which has pictures of her and Taylor being pretty close. Leah sees these pictures, but the meeting starts before Leah has time to digest it. After the start of the meeting, Angie learns pretty quickly that some of the women in there are followers and loyal to Leah. Nevertheless, Angie volunteers to bring flowers to Leah's mother. Angie leaves the meeting and bumps into Raymond. They talk about her chances of getting into the incubator program. And in my opinion, at some point in this season, Angie's going to try to seduce Raymond in an effort to cause trouble in his marriage. Angie then goes to visit Leah's mother, who's in a facility. During this time, Leah's mother confuses Angie for Leah. There's a possibility that Leah's mother may have some mental health issue, and that it was brought on when Teddy tried to send her there. When Leah's mother accuses Angie's mother of being a deadbeat as well as having unkind remarks for her, Angie leaves before Leah's mother could piss her off any further. We then get a scene of Tyreek helping Angie renovate the shop. During this time, Angie stumbles across some of her mother's belongings in a hidden room. This makes Angie somewhat emotional, but I didn't feel anything when watching the scene. Tyreek asks Angie out on a date, but she declines because she's going to a party that night. She then invites Tyreek onto the party, to which he agrees. We then get a scene of Leah and Lauren. And during this time, Leah in a roundabout way tries to tell Lauren that it's okay for her to come out as gay. Teddy, Leah's father, then comes along and interrupts their conversation. He has nothing but kind words to say towards Leah, but I don't see the show hiring somebody like Joe Morton if they were just going to throw his character away so easily. So I believe that he has something up his sleeve. Leah and Lauren go to visit Angie at her shop, and Leah is essentially there to size Angie up. During this time, Leah confronts Lauren about her sexuality, and Lauren confesses to it. Lauren then leaves after realizing that her mother will still love her, but she won't approve of her lifestyle. Leah is upset with her inability to connect with Lauren. This is when Angie speaks to Leah and the two bond over what it's like to be a mother to a daughter. Later in the episode, Angie confirms that her mother had given her away to another woman when she was born, and this scene is with Patricia. Patricia admits that she knew about it the whole time, and the two of them talk about it. I will say that Yaya's dramatic acting during the scene was pretty bad, but I still have hope for her that she can right the ship before the season's over. Now at this party, Angie arrives with Tyreek and Nikki arrives with Patricia. Sometime into the party, Nikki is talking to Quincy when Lauren comes in out of nowhere and tells Nikki that she doesn't belong there. Nikki, in turn, told Lauren that she wanted all the smoke. This was my most proudest moment of the entire episode. Nikki was in the process of checking Lauren when Lauren gets saved by Angie. Angie isn't quite ready to drop the bomb just yet, but she appreciates Nikki for having her back. Later on at the party, Leah's in the process of announcing the takeover of the company, and her father interrupts to let everyone know that he's not retiring. This catches Leah by surprise, to which Teddy informs her that if she goes after him, then her husband Raymond will fall down as well. Leah realizes that she is in checkmate. Leah and her husband then argue over her father's announcement, and it looks like Raymond is more concerned about what he lost out on when Teddy made his announcement, which makes me think that there's trouble in paradise. When Raymond leaves Leah, a new character comes along and catches Leah by surprise with a kiss. Lauren walks in on the act and leaves horrified. Leah chases after Lauren and the police show up at the party. They place Lauren under arrest for attempted murder of Taylor. After the party, Angie goes to visit Tyreek. They talk about Teddy Franklin and both of their fathers. Tyreek reveals that his father was killed in the line of duty while protecting Teddy. And I'm thinking to myself, Teddy may have pulled a Lucius line on Tyreek's father and treated Tyreek like Frida Gatz. We then see a scene of Angie and her family pouring her mother's ashes over a river while reciting a poem. Leah and her father meet back up. The father confirms that Angie is Leah's sister. Leah is angry over it, but Teddy then tells Leah that they need to prepare for Angie's next move. We then get a final scene of Teddy confronting Patricia, and then she pulls a gun out on him. Now overall, my feelings on whether or not this show still reminds me of Empire haven't really changed. This show is definitely an Empire clone, and on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this episode a 6. I like how the storyline is progressing, but some of the acting performances still fall flat for me. Well folks, this is the end of my review. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode in the comment section below, and I'll be sure to reply to it. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.